¿Qué?
Buh. Alright, hello everyone. This is the first time I'm multi-streaming. Seems to be all good for now though. One sec, let me put some music on that's not copyrighted. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Hello, Simeon. How you doing? Yeah, so with multi-streaming, what I'm doing is I'm using a a service called Restream, and all it does is it takes my YouTube stream and it just duplicates it through them. So I'm getting like no extra bandwidth or anything like that. It's no strain. It's literally just that, and it's perfect. I do have to pay monthly for it, but it's fine. It seems to be working pretty flawlessly right now. The only downside to using Twitch is it's only in 1080p. So if your internet cuts out or it gets low, you might buffer a bit, but it should be fine. I'm streaming on Kick too, but I don't think anyone's going to use that. But it's there because, hey, I can. Holy shit, that was loud. My bad. Let me turn that down. Jesus. Let's put something a bit more relaxed on. There we go. Good old ambience. Right. Let's see what the stream is. Yeah, the downside to streaming on Twitch is that it's Twitch. My main stream is still YouTube. It always will be. YouTube's my home, essentially. Um, YouTube's got very fair TOS mostly. The only bad side with YouTube is the copyright can be fucking insane on there and really overprotective, but I get it because if YouTube slips up with their copyright, they will get sued. But not a problem with me because I use the first, like, I basically, let me switch the screens. I basically use this section of the stream to, or that section of the stream, I should say, to, pardon me, to blast copyrighted music because I'm not talking during that, so it won't affect it. It's my way of flexing my music, I guess. I prefer Twitch for streams mostly. I like Twitch because there is a massive incentive on Twitch to like grow. Like you get a lot of like stuff like achievements and slop like that. But hey, it's good to do. So from now on, I'm going to multi-stream. Hello, Lottie. I don't know how you pronounce that. Hello. It also has more quality it streams. Yeah. I think Twitch's quality for streaming is pretty high. Yeah, the good thing about Restream, the thing I'm using, is that I can read all the chats at once, and if I need to reply via text in a specific chat, I can do that very easily as well. Yeah, today it's going to be a short stream, maybe 1 to 2 hours, maybe 2, because I'm very tired, gone through a heat wave, barely got any sleep. But what we're going to do today, instead of playing Voices of the Void, like we have been doing for the past few streams, we're going to do some scripting, or I'm going to do some scripting, but to make it less boring, I've made a YouTube thing at the bottom left, so we're going to watch some YouTube videos whilst we're doing it, and it's going to be some spicy stuff, it's going to be some drama videos, some stop killing game stuff. I want to watch some videos to do with that, that's going to be fun. I'm not a drama YouTuber, but hey, sometimes you feel a bit spicy, you know what I mean? And you want to watch some stuff. You stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time? I do, yes. So you can use whatever you wish. Whatever you prefer to watch on, you can use either. But the mainstream, quote unquote, is YouTube because that's where I publish my videos. Yeah. So let's see how this looks. It's fun watching other people's drama. True it is. As long as there's no drama that I'm involved in, which I'm not, which is very good. You can join the Discord to get all the links. Yep, that's true. There is a Discord in the description. I think there's a link to my Discord on all of the streams. So yeah, if you scroll down, it should be there. But yeah, let me just see how this works. This is the first time, by the way, I'm ever scripting in front of someone. Ever. So if I'm a bit awkward, if I'm a bit shy, that's why, but I should be fine. But before we do that, I need to get a drink, so give me just 1 second. I am back. I always forget drinks. I always do. But if I don't have a drink, I'm gonna fucking die. But what was I gonna say? This script I'm doing now. Hang on. Let me see if this works. Let's see. There we go. I've got the video prepared and everything. But this is the second draft of the next video. So I have a draft that's finished of this script, but I'm going through it again and I'm correcting it. I have it on my other monitor, the other script, and I'm just going through it and I'm comparing it with my other notes. And yeah, and then once I finish this draft completely, I can finish up the recording, and then it's done pretty much. The video is pretty much done at that point. But yeah, I've hidden things on the script, such as word count and some stuff on the above, because I just like how clean it looks. And the reason for that is because I want to surprise people with how long videos are. This video, I could already confirm, isn't going to be as long as my other videos, except for the Baroque one. This video is going to be probably a little bit longer than that one. So it's a bit shorter than the others, but this video is going to be very heavily edited. I might show you guys a little bit of the edit, but I'm not sure, because I prefer to let my patrons get exclusive access to that stuff, and I don't really want to like diminish their support, so I probably won't do that. The only people I show like sneak peeks of videos to outside of the Patreon are my friends. You did say how long it was to be on Patreon. Yeah, I did. Yeah, on Patreon I told everyone. But yeah, okay. So you may think to yourself, what is he writing from and all that. Again, I'm looking at my notes and the book / game I'm writing about, whatever. This is about halfway done, I think. This one, I'm not sure. I think we're about there. But yeah, before we start, let me turn the ambience down a bit, because we are going to watch this video about stop killing games. If you're not aware of what stop killing games is, it's very important, especially if you're European, or in the EU rather. Not every country in the EU, in Europe, is in the EU. I would know. I am British. Essentially, it's a petition to propose a way of allowing you to have better ownership of games. For example, if a game goes offline or it's getting its support cut, you're basically going to waste your money if you have bought that game, or if you have purchased things such as microtransactions in that game. And basically what Stop Killing Games is, it is a way of allowing you to host your own servers and to continue using the game that you have paid money for. That's the gist of it, basically. And the reason why it's in the EU only at the moment is because if we pass it in the EU, then the US, it basically could get like recognized in the US, and then it could go into the wider world. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna react to the video. If I pause the video a lot, I should be pausing the video a lot, because I don't want to just steal this guy's content. Is his stream on the screen? It's not his stream, his channel name. Yes, this video is by Endymion TV. It's called The Dark Truth About Pirate Software and Stop Killing Games. So we're gonna watch this whilst I write. If I go quiet, it's because I'm muted and I'm writing. But yeah, okay. What's that? I won't do many. No, sorry. I will do some scripting streams. I will, because I think they will be relaxing to do. They're not very entertaining. They are pretty boring. Hence why I'm doing the YouTube thing as well on the side. But it's I think it's a good way of just, if I'm not in the mood to play a game or anything, and I'm doing this, I might as well, I might as well stream it. Let me see where I was on my notes real quick before I begin. The corrosive fumes drastically reduce the amount of spores. Where was I? I'm just using the stream as background noise while I'm playing Satisfactory. Yeah, that's fine. It's perfectly fine. Most of the captures out of order. Where was I on this? Bloody hell. Hang on. Need to find where it was exactly. My bow. No, not my bow. Where was it? MBYO. Damn, I'm really far up then. That's good. Or really far down, rather. Yeah, so I was past this. I was past this. I'm looking at things off the stream. If it looks like I'm not doing anything right now, it's because I'm not scrolling through my notes. Right, so view the emitters. Okay, found it. We're good. All right, let's start. No more dilly-dallying, as we should say. All right, let me see if the volume on this is good.
from destroying games and taking the movement to stop studios from destroying games
There we
and
go.
taking them offline has reached another fever point. And now Pirate Software is getting called out for lying yet again. And besides this, there's plenty more to go over. But I have to tackle some false info first before I get into the meat of this video, so please allow me to explain this because it is important. And then we'll get into how the truth of what Pirate Software demands needs to be called out and stopped before it's too late. Firstly, to catch you up fast, Stop Killing Games is an initiative to create a law to ensure that publishers cannot just take games offline and essentially remove your ability to play games that you have paid for. The
If there was double audio there, by the way, I fixed it, so don't worry about that.
movement is growing. As seen here, as of this video going live, the movement has achieved 72% of its signatures, but yup, it still needs more. So if you're a European user, you can sign this. I'll leave a link in the description for you to do so. If you're not European, I'm sorry, but you can't sign this. However, you can share this link with your European friends or mutuals
That's exactly what I've been doing.
if possible. So like I said, Pirate Software has been getting his reputation beaten into the pavement by pretty much everybody lately. Mostly because the guy was single-handedly blamed for destroying Stop Killing Games as an initiative when he originally reacted to the movement almost a year ago in this video here on screen. And since then, the Stop Killing Games initiative has limped on until recently, where it's come back with a fiery vengeance, and that's putting it lightly. Pirate Software has attempted to claim that he's not the bad guy, but unfortunately, his actions in past are coming to bite him more often than not. Then recently, a user spoke out on how they were banned from Hardbound Steam Forum, which, if you don't know, Hardbound is the game that Pirate Software has been working on for years and it's still not finished. Hardbound isn't very unique either, it's literally just an Undertale ripoff in pretty much every single way, even
Um, I don't know if it's in every single way, but I can see where he's getting at. I've played Undertale. I think it's one of the best games of all time, but I've not played Pirates game, and I don't really intend to. He's like abandoned the game for a while. Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I wouldn't really call it a rip-off. Um, I think that is pretty disingenuous. It does look pretty generic though, yeah, it does, I agree. It looks like I don't think it was made in RPG Maker, but it looks like it was it looks like it was.
down to how the combat works as well. Which really doesn't surprise me that the guy
And that is also, I think what he just said there is also incorrect. It's made in Game Maker Studio, okay. I think what he just said there is also incorrect. I don't think it's a one-to-one
every
copy.
single way, even down to how the combat works as well. Which really doesn't surprise me that the guy who thinks he's a god among
Like, this doesn't look like Undertale combat, I'm sorry. It doesn't. It looks nothing like how Undertale looks like.
men just made a carbon copy of something else instead. Also, the game has almost been in development for something like 10 years.
Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Pirate Software, but you have to, like, remind yourself that you can't just be disingenuous. You have to, like, you can't just say, oh, this is an Undertale clone and the combat is the exact same, because the combat is not the same as Undertale's. Like,
Years, if you can believe it, and it still isn't finished. Regardless, a user claimed that Pirate's game Heartbound uses DRM in a single player game, and DRM, or digital rights management, is a system used to control how users access copyrighted digital content. Essentially,
if your Twitch stream is active, you should show it on stream. Likewise for YouTube, just so both streams don't get confused when you play video stream. The thing is, though, Alex, is that on Twitch you literally can't do that unless you separate them. Twitch doesn't like it if you do that. The only way I can do that is if I literally put two chats on the screen, and that would fill up so much space on the screen. So I would rather just not have any chat on the screen at all. I might figure out how I'm going to do it next stream or whenever, but for now, this is just how it's going to be. If I could say like who I'm replying to on where, but when Simeon's talking on Twitch, it shouldn't really matter.
it's anti-piracy software. And like I said, Pirate Software, whose name is ironic given the circumstances, is now being accused of implementing it into his game. However, as you can see, this post from the initial user that blew up eventually edited their Reddit post claiming.
Also, just to make it clear, I don't like Pirate Software. I'm not defending him. I'm just like you have to like analyze things from an objective point of view sometimes, and Yeah, that's literally it. You have to be like mature about it, even though I fucking don't like the guy, really. That's just how it is, you know. You can't just say it's an Undertale clone, the combat's the same.
claiming that they were wrong to accuse Pirate Software of banning
Hmm.
them because they were wrong
Hello,
and
Sky.
admitted to pushing false information
So
as
good.
facts. So, this user clearly got too hung up on trying to attack Pirate Software that they admitted that they falsified information in order to dogpile onto him. And this is why it's important to ensure that you have something here before you say something. And unfortunately, and this is why I'm bringing this up, I have seen other content creators recently pushing this review that this user made on Hardbound as proof. But again, I have to reiterate, it's not true, and technically, by saying what this user claimed.
Twitch chat on YouTube is fine. Yeah, which is any other challenge user. Simeon said, which is basically any game on Steam that uses achievements. From what I can tell, Hotbind doesn't have DRM protection beyond simple Steamworks integration, which is basically any game on Steam that uses achievements and such. Yeah, yeah. Like the game has at the moment overwhelmingly negative reviews. I'm not gonna like say, oh, that's bad. You shouldn't pile on him for all that because it's his work at the end of the day. But that game has literally been abandoned. Yes, it has had updates. Yes, it has had progress, quote unquote, reports. But these updates, the guy classes bug fixes as content updates. If you go on the Steam page right now and go to the patch notes, it literally says content updates. You scroll down, it's just bug fixes, which are fine, but that isn't content. I'm sorry, it's just not. So, you know, it's one of these, it's just a messy
About
situation.
Hardbound as fact is technically just defamation, pretty much, so please be careful with that. Although this doesn't change the fact that Pirate Software does indeed still support the idea of you'll own nothing and be happy narrative, because that's clearly what he's pushing. Okay, let's get into the real video now, because Pirate, in case you don't know, used to work at Blizzard. What he did there exactly, no one really
The forever early access from hell, yeah.
knows. But his dad was a big shot at the company, which 100% means that Pirate was probably a nepotism hire. And they probably just had him in like an office debugging
I
nothing
don't
just
think
to
so,
keep him
Sky.
busy
I'm not
while,
sure.
actual devs made video games. But Blizzard, of course, is notorious for being very anti player and pro you will own nothing.
Dude, I don't even get me started on Blizzard. What a fucking mess of a company. I don't play well. My main MMO is Final Fantasy XIV, which at the moment is not in a good state. If anyone here plays that game, you probably agree with me. Dawn Trail is probably the worst expansion for many reasons, and hoping it gets better. I mean, I love Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going to do a video on it one day, which is going to be a huge fucking video. It's going to be like at least 10 hours long, probably, but yeah. Steamworks integration is the simplest form of DRM to circumvent, as it's just communication to Steam, which can intercept and provide dummy data. Yeah. Bro, you haven't logged into Active. Yeah, because there's nothing to do, Jonah. There's nothing to do. Like, oh yeah, oh boy, there's new content, and the new content is shit we've done. We have done in 14. It's like they introduced this content, and it's like it's just a friggin' it's like a copy and paste of previous content with a new coat of paint on it. Pirate was QA for StarCraft 2. I thought he was QA for WoW, but Blizzard is StarCraft, so yeah. There is it's content though. It's like quote unquote content, you know. It's sure.
Thing and be happy pretty much these days. So it's really no wonder why this stop killing games thing continues to gain traction as time passes on. For an example, The Crew as a franchise was a big reason why Stop Killing Games began in the first place. As seen here in an update in April 2025, Ubisoft confirms even still that buying their games does not mean that you technically own them, but that you simply bought a license to play their games that can be revoked at any given time, hence why this movement is happening. As Windows Central, which ran this article, said by reciting another website, which is Polygon by the way, which discovered this line from Ubisoft's lawsuit about digital ownership, which reads, Ubisoft allegedly misled purchasers of its video game The Crew into believing they were purchasing unfettered ownership rights in the game, rather than a limited license to access the game, but the reality is that consumers received the benefit of their bargain and were explicitly notified at the time of purchase that they were purchasing
Exciting roleplay which takes 10 minutes between replies, of course. As far as I'm aware, this that is what he worked on mainly. His dad was, yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, Pyro also says he hacked nuclear power plants for the US, and it's like, okay. Like, I'm not saying he's a liar, but okay. Knowing how he acts now, I don't believe him.
a
I
license.
just don't.
So, this whole fiasco began because players quickly realized that places like Ubisoft, as stated here in that same Windows Central article, did revoke their right to play the crew once it was shut down in 2020.
I don't play car games, so you know, I don't really. I'm not upset at the crew shutting down, but at the end of the day, it is a game shutting down, and that's not good. We should have the rights to play the things that we have bought, which is why Stop Killing Games is so fucking important. There is no way to prove him or disprove. Yeah, you're right. There is literally no way of him to prove um that he was like, or disprove people, what, you know what I mean, for like working at a nuclear power plant. Yeah, non-disclosure agreements. The Subway Surfer gameplay, lucky, is at the bottom left. We're watching drama videos because it's fun, and it's fun to discuss whilst I'm scripting the next video. Multitasking. We're being very productive. We're streaming, we're scripting, we're watching, we're discussing. I think it's proven that he worked for the government, but no clue if he did what he did. Yeah. I don't know. Like, hey, like I said, I don't play car games. I love, like, I mean, I finished playing Ace Combat 7 the other day. Holy fuck, what a game. Um, but it's like, it just doesn't matter if I care for the game or not. The fact is that it's a game shutting down. It's just sad, you know? So it doesn't matter what I'm interested in.
24 after first being released in 2014. But the extra dagger in the rib was where users discovered again as seen.
Did you just call me Dogma Cynical? Jesus Christ. If he did such a thing and had an idea, wouldn't the NDA cover that? The only thing he should be able to share is that he worked for the government. Yeah, maybe.
Here that the crew absolutely did 100% have code in it that would have allowed the game to be played offline in a single player mode state. The point of this video is to prove that not only are places
Wait,
like
what?
Ubisoft player 100% have code in, as seen here, that the crew absolutely did 100% have code in it
Bruh.
that would have allowed the game to be played offline.
That's so fucking. I never knew that. That's so frustrating. Imagine being like a massive fan of the crew and it got shut down, and just to find out they actually had code in it that had like a maybe up an offline mode. Jesus
in a single player mode
Christ,
state.
dude.
The point of this video is to prove that not only are places like Ubisoft or people like Pirate Software who are being called out, and rightfully so, time and again, but that the reason why this movement is so important is because they refuse to admit when they're wrong, and they instead want to continue pushing this false narrative only because it benefits them specifically. But as Ubisoft states here as well, even if you own a physical copy of their games, you still don't own that game regardless. All you actually own is a worthless disc that's sitting in a plastic box, and they can, will, and have already stripped the ownership of a game from players regardless if they bought it digitally or physically. It really doesn't matter. So why Pirate Software continues to defend this practice is kind of beyond me, because it is so clearly anti-consumer. But he does come from a background of privilege and nepotism, so it's not surprising why he too believes in similar concepts. Thankfully, though, bigger creators are also throwing their support in as well, like Jacksepticeye, as seen here, has publicly advocated for his viewers as well to sign the petition, which is great to see.
Yeah, PewDiePie did this too. It's good.
None other than also PewDiePie came
Yep,
in
there we
via
go.
his post on his YouTube channel to also officially support Stop Killing Games as well, which reads, in the comments, I see
Wait,
some
when
of
was
you
this video
mentioned
published? 1 hour ago.
Stop
Okay.
Killing Games.
I was gonna check
say
the.
I 100% support this movement.
I was gonna check the the how many people have signed it, but I think he showed it at the start of the video. I think it's like at 80% right now, 800,000. Jack, you should totally change your mind to fit. You know what? To be who? Pyro? What the fuck? Why would I want to be Pyro? I love Pyro, but no, I don't want to be Pyro.
ties in perfectly with what I talked about in my video, ownership over software and the games we buy. Again, I really don't get the sentiment of why anyone would be against the preservation and accessibility of video games. As I said, the only reason that you would be against it is
Oh,
because you
pirate
have something
software.
to gain
No,
from the
fuck that.
current meta of how things
I mean, it's the. I mean, I do seriously believe Pirate does like fuck with his mic. Like he hasn't got a voice changer. I just think he turns the gain up, the bass up, the treble, whatever. Like when I record for my videos, I do it by accident sometimes when my voice goes really deep because I fuck with the mic settings too much. Like I've post processed them to, like the audio way too much, and my voice just turns really deep and bassy, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that does not sound like how I sound like. Yeah.
are being done currently. However, I do hope people do their research because, again, what that one user did on Steam, here's their post, by the way, was not only debunked, but because of their lack of due diligence, they have now actually harmed Stop Killing Games as a movement by pushing this disinformation. The problem there is that I hope people understand that you can't push false info like that because all it'll do is strengthen your opposition and really just ruin your integrity. But that being said, I also want to get into, further with the thing with Pirate Software, all the things going on there. So, like I said, Pirate got called out like crazy.
Yeah,
Things went
exactly, Sky. Like his name's Pirate Software, and he's like he's the most pro corporate person fucking ever. It's crazy.
very poorly, and now he has deleted a rant that he has caused more backlash because of it.
There is a moment during his interview in the Stream Awards, though, times where he like his voice goes high pitched and he like clears his throat and he leans back in and his voice goes back to like his deep, his like deep state. If I forgot, I think he was interviewing Extra Emily, and there's a voice where there's a part where his voice goes high pitched again. I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's true. If you go and watch that video, watch that interview, there's a moment.
So
But
this
hey, who
happened
knows?
during Pirate's big response to the backlash, which has since not helped at all and only made things far worse. Thankfully, though, I have it, and this is Pirate responding to a cursed farm.
Oh Jesus Christ! Not his tweet. I didn't read it, but I looked at it and I was like, oh God.
That's the content creator who started Stop Killing Games, so let's read it as it says. I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative 10 months ago and haven't talked about it since. Now your initiative has failed and you're blaming me for 33 minutes of the hour-long video covering it. Your community is out in force, crapping up our streams and socials with hate messages, threats, and snide comments. Since you're so set on cutting up my response into pieces to try to make them seem unhinged, I'm going to drop my videos here to show the actual context. There was also a massive pinned FAQ on the first video you could read through to see my reasoning. To quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying. I'm fine talking to people that are level-headed about this and can have a conversation. But to be real, dude, every time you've been involved, your orbiters turn things toxic instantly and it sets me off.
I I don't know why, but the way this guy writes is just funny. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just like to quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying. And it's like people are though. People are, and this is really funny coming from him because he misconstrued the entire manifesto or on the petition about as to why Stop Killing Games is a thing. This is so hypocritical. That's crazy.
Your community is effing rabid and it's crap to deal with for
That is also insane to say because his community is fucking mind-bogglingly, yeah.
anyone on the other side of the argument. Why do you think I haven't talked about this crap in 10 months? Why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat because it's been rage bait and crap flinging the entire time? Your own Reddit had people openly talking about causing drama in our community to try to stir up more support. Pirate then ends his rant with, I still disagree with your movement for all of the reasons I stated. That's unlikely to change, and at this point, I am more than fine with that. So, like I said, following backlash, Pirate went ahead and deleted this comment from his public response to Stop Killing Games, because he is now accusing people of attacking his community for his comments on the movement. And if you ask,
Yeah, he still has a community. But a lot of his community are they're people who don't really get like understand or really or like care or aren't even aware of this stuff going on because that is more common than you might think where people just watch YouTube and that's it. They don't engage on social media or anything like that, which is perfectly fine. Of course that's fine. But they exist. Um but yeah. They mainly know him for the ferrets. Yeah, true. No, that is literally true, Lucky. He's very well known to run his ferret rescue, which is good. That is one of the best things he actually does is the ferret rescue, because I'm not sure if they're endangered or not, but Pirate's ferret rescue is very good. I'm happy he does that, and a lot of people just watch him because of that. Um, yeah, that is a good thing that he does. His web first is great, even yeah, exactly. Yeah, like when it comes to like taking care of animals and stuff, I have such a sympathy for people. Like, of course, I'm not saying it excuses anything, but I no matter who does it really, unless they're doing it for malicious reasons, of course, which certainly does happen. Um, I will always look at someone if they're taking care of animals and say, okay, you probably like killed a child, but hey, you look after puppies, so you know that's good. There is another streamer that is like disgusting but runs an animal rescue. Oh Jesus, I don't even want to know what he's doing. Where was I?
To me, that's really not how this works. I think what Pirate wants more than anything else right now is for this backlash to end, because this is pretty much career ending level backlash if I've ever seen it. It's the sort of controversy where no, his channel won't be deleted. However, in the online space, your integrity matters. And if you're being called out like this and your response is just, actually, I'm still right, yeah, you're gonna get attacked for it. Again, I'm not making that up. He actually ended his now deleted rant by saying, I still disagree with your movement and will not change my opinion, which is honestly crazy considering how everyone but him supports it because it makes sense. Pirate simply doesn't want to accept his future because he believes it goes against his tenet as a game developer when it doesn't. But this just keeps proving to me, anyways, that despite being
I have a theory. I told some friends this. I have a theory that Pirate knows he's wrong, and he's very aware what he said is fucked up, but his ego is so just out of control that he doesn't want to admit it. Um, and I like a part of me was really like, one day he's going to just turn around and be like, "Yeah, I did this whole thing, so it got more attention." And it's like, no, you didn't. You're just a moron. You literally personally attacked the guy behind it. You told him to eat your ass. Like, nah, bro. Nah.
shown time and again with examples that Pirate Software genuinely refuses to budge simply because to admit he's wrong is worse than death for him. Although, this is also the same guy who got involved in a viral World of Warcraft hardcore incident where he basically doomed his own teammates to fail and then tried to gaslight his viewers into believing.
This sounds really silly from me. That World of Warcraft thing actually angered me more than the fucking stop killing game stuff, because of the way he. I don't know why. I don't know why it pisses me off so much. I think it's because of the fact that it was hardcore World of Warcraft, which I think it takes like 100 or 200 hours to even level a character. And then he purposely runs away, uses all of his resources to make it look like he couldn't help them. Like, I don't know why that pisses me off so much. Like, yes, it's just a game, but at the end of the day, people spent time on that. People spend time on it, so
That he was
I don't
not
know.
to blame for the incident. And then it was proven that, in fact, when Pirate Software claimed he would discover who pulled the enemy that killed the team.
You know what I did before this? I worked at Blizzard Entertainment.
Okay, well, at one point, when he and his teammates were streaming and got themselves in a dangerous situation, most of the team tried helping each other survive, while Thor, you know, the guy constantly boasting his hitherto undreamt of skills, ran away and said there was nothing he could do.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking?
Ready for my favorite line? I hope this guy plays it. What am I supposed to do for you? Listen.
About why am I walking?
This
Look at
is
my mana.
savage, but come on, man.
Do you see my mana?
He was caught lying about his resources.
No, he cut it. God fucking damn it.
Is actively wasting them while running away, so he could then claim that there was nothing he could do.
If you have that kind of a mistake again, I'm disbanding the party. I'm gonna go run with.
That WoW one really made me fully stop wanting to interact with Pirate Software. I used to excuse the ego because he seemed decent enough, but yeah, I agree.
Other people.
I used to like him. I did. Before all this shit came out, I used to like I would see his YouTube shorts, which I don't really use YouTube shorts much anymore, but holy crap, they were everywhere. And some of them, yeah, I liked it because I liked his ideology, so to say, of like game development and like promoting it and encouraging people to become game developers now that we have the resources to do so. But After this, nah, fuck that.
Because you guys cannot do that. God damn it.
Well, not fuck that, fuck him, rather.
Okay, so one of you hold the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. Oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna go back in the.
Fun facts: the thing he's crying about here, I'm hoping this guy plays it. He literally pulled the mob that killed the raid. He literally did it. There's video proof of him doing it.
Video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit.
Which ended up being none other than Pirate Software himself, who made the mistake.
You have to be better than that. And we just lost all of those materials.
Yeah, how dare you attack the ocular, you stupid, dumb, moronic.
Thor pulled it in a clip? Link.
Oh wait, what's that? He was?
Yeah, like he cast a long range spell here, and it like cut through most of the mobs, and it like hit a dangerous mob at the back of the group, and it like caused the entire raid to get killed by, I think, or most of the raid.
The ocular? Making it his fault everyone died? Gee, I wonder how he's gonna apologize for being so toxic to his supportive viewer base for no reason whatsoever.
I'm not at fault there. I'm correct there for doing that. 100%. That is not on me.
Suddenly now, it was magically no longer a problem because nobody else is allowed to make mistakes in his presence, and if they do, I guess they should be banned for it. But if Pirate makes a mistake, oh, then it's fine. It's totally genuine and barely even an issue at all. Love the double standard there. I think what this controversy has exposed more than anything is that some people are simply just hellbent on ensuring they are somehow the greatest, and they will really stop at nothing even if it means blocking people, lying outright, and more to make others believe them.
That is not on me.
You can't claim that the backlash towards you is unwarranted and then delete the evidence of you crying about it and not think that the internet won't find it somehow. He's just passive aggressive. And
I really wish he included the what am I supposed to do for you? I don't know why. It's like that quote from him is so like cunty. I hate that word. It's such a horrible word, but it's so cunty that it's just funny, you know? Like, it's just funny. Because it's like, dude, you could have helped them get out alive. Like, in World of Warcraft Hardcore, I don't play WoW much, but I know for a fact, when people say run in Hardcore WoW, it doesn't mean abandon everyone for themselves. It means to help everyone get out of that area, of that situation. That's what it means.
honestly, it's more pathetic than anything.
I'm gonna go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane. That is not on me.
Like following
I'm also getting PTSD from my Final Fantasy 14 raiding days because there was a few toxic people back then too, like this guy. Not as bad probably, but yeah.
Warcraft crash out where he doomed his own teammates, he released a super lengthy response as to why he was actually not at fault despite being in fact at fault. And then as one user said in the comments, just take the L, it's not that hard, and Pirate says, hope this was worth it for you, as if stating the obvious that Pirate was in the wrong is somehow morally bad to do so. And that by stating this, you have now lost the respect and support, I guess, of Pirate Software in the future. Like, this guy literally thinks he's like as smart as Reed Richards or Tony Stark or something, when he's just a Nepo baby with the biggest chip on his shoulder.
So one of you hold the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. That is not on me.
This is also a really petty thing to like, not complain about, but to like point out. His mic hides like the entire bottom half of his face, and this hat covers the top half. You can barely fucking see the guy. You might as well not have a webcam.
Then again, this is also
just
the same
saying.
guy who said this, and this claim is ridiculous.
So with that in mind, that community brought me this and tried to get me to sign it. And I don't want to. Number one, I can't because I don't live in Europe. But number two, I
Yeah, because you don't live in the... Never mind.
wouldn't sign it even if I could. And I'm going to kind of go through this and try to...
I was going to say, you don't live in the best continent, but, you know, I can't really say that because it really depends.
explain the reasoning as to why that would be the case.
Plus, all my American viewers are going to fucking strangle me. I'm sorry, guys.
The reason why I have a problem with Stop Killing Games is specifically it starts the wrong conversation. If we're trying to kill off the practice of developers putting together a live service game, pitching it
Where did his pop filter go?
as a single-player experience, and then taking away support in the future, this ain't it. Under its own description, it says, this initiative calls to require publishers that sell or license video games to consumers in the European Union or related features and assets sold for video games they operate to leave said video games in a functional, playable state. Specifically, the initiative seeks to prevent the...
I mean, I'm not in the EU, but so I couldn't sign this. But there is a UK petition, and I signed that one, and I shared the this Stop Killing Games one on Twitter
remote disabling of
and to some of my EU friends, and they've signed it. Some of them have at least.
video games by the publishers before providing reasonable means to continue functioning of said video games without the involvement from the side of the publisher. This isn't always possible in all video games, and it doesn't call out the specific practice that this is supposedly trying to defeat. It is incredibly vague and will damage all live service games.
Pirate claims this initiative would harm all games, but it wouldn't. The simple truth is that Pirate Software refuses to admit when he's wrong, and doesn't want the power of games to be in the hands of the people who play and enjoy them. Instead, he wants to...
Dude, I wish the UK was still in the EU. Oh my fucking god, it pisses me off every day, bro. It pisses me off so much. Every time I go to EU countries and I'm like, wow, you guys have like shit that is actually good. You actually have a bunch of quality of life. And it's like, I love the UK. I love England to death, but Jesus Christ, dude.
to keep the power at the top where he considers himself to be a part of that club, and that the rest of us to be seen as peasants that exist below someone like him that we must depend on in order to thrive and enjoy games from. But not only is that wrong, it's disingenuous and frankly kind of pathetic to view games in this manner, especially when so many people have already pushed back against Pirate, telling him that these issues that he claims can't be fixed have already been fixed a long time ago. And that instead, this is a man who's unwilling to budge in his opinions and his mistakes because he values his ego and image above really anything else. And if the industry or players must suffer in order for this mirage, if you will, to stay operational, then so be it in his eyes. But then Pirate says you have to re-architect the entire game to make it single player. Listen to this.
You'd have to re-architect the entire game. The game is what is called client-server. So in client-server models, there's a server and there's a client, and all of the math, all of the game, everything happens on the server. The client just displays it.
Let's see what I was going to say. It's gone out my head. I was going to say something. Fuck. Yeah, fuck Brexit. That's all.
And the reason we want to do it that way is so that you can't teleport around and do a billion damage. You don't trust the client. You trust the server.
Like, most of the stuff Pirate is talking about here, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because it's not what the petition's about. Like, he's overcomplicating it and he's adding shit onto it, and it's just like, bro, this isn't what people want.
The client just displays what it's told, right? So if we wanted to re-architect this, we'd have to take all of that server logic, push it back out into the client, and somehow make that playable in a multiplayer-only video game. That doesn't make sense to me.
But that's not true, and he knows it. Like I showed earlier, the Crew was confirmed to be able to be a single-player game. It just wasn't, because Ubisoft simply didn't want it to be that way. And that's what it comes down ultimately, which is that Pirate knows what he claims can be fixed, but he just doesn't want it to happen. And that's kind of dangerous to me. He even talks about the Crew. Listen to this.
Right. So why did this start in the first place? What is the specific cases they've called out that are egregious? And they have one.
God.
It's the Crew. So
This isn't me shitting on the guy that made this video. I'm actually going to like the video because it is pretty good. But the audio mixing is all over the place. It goes really quiet to really loud, and I'm like, ah.
So, action on The Crew. The video game The Crew, published by Ubisoft, was recently destroyed.
Most multiplayer games do something, pardon me, called prediction, where game logic is shared so that the client can predict what the server would answer. As an example, if you move forward, the client predicts that the server would allow moving forward. Yeah.
For all players and had a player base of at least 12 million people. Due to the game's size and France's strong consumer protection laws, this represents one of the best opportunities to hold a publisher accountable for this action. If we're successful in charges being pressed against Ubisoft, this can have a ripple effect on the video games industry to prevent publishers from destroying more games. First off, I don't like the idea in this that it has a player base of 12 million people. That is not how long-running games work. There is a large number of people that buy the game, and that player base slowly dwindles off until nobody is playing it anymore. If there's any costs associated with keeping the game online, which this was an online video game, then eventually it costs more to keep it online than it does to keep running it. When they do, we should be calling out that specific company, not all companies.
The fact he says that we should not call out all companies, but only the few that do it is wrong too, because these days, it's not just one company that's delisting or controlling how players operate or access their games. Pirate, my dude, it's all of them. For God's sakes, go look at Nintendo right now, for example. Recently, a user on Reddit revealed, and this is from Games Radar, Switch 2 permabans are so permanent that not even
Yeah, I think Nintendo can like brick your console if you like hack the console itself. The Switch 2 at least, not Switch 1. I think they can just brick it. It's in their TOS, I think. Which I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. I think that's weird.
Nintendo itself can overturn them, as one user named Twink Link discovered to their horror. So, some context, I know, as the user themselves said via Reddit, I let everyone in my family use my Nintendo Switch 2 system, and as a result, my sister uses it. Her username was recently changed to Twink Link and console ban. I am fully prevented from accessing any Nintendo services at all on the system. I'm unable to contact...
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of funny. Come on, it is a bit funny. Twinkling like.
Support, as they're too busy with complaints right now, but this has been incredibly stressful. We were all so excited to be playing Breath of the Wild again. They then state here afterwards that it wasn't their sister naming themselves Twink Link, which still sounds like a ridiculous joke, but to say out loud, but that the system itself was actually flagged by accident. And I bring this up for a really simple reason, which is why in the hell can an entire console be banned like this by accident, no less, and that's just considered normal these days? That these sorts of insane things happen because of what opinions people like Pirate and others in
Can't wait to emulate that shit, same.
the industry are allowing to happen.
I'm not gonna buy a Switch 2 unless it's like, I don't know. You have to do a lot to get me to buy. I have a Switch 1. I use it to play Switch exclusives, here and there. Like I'm playing Xenoblade 1 right now, but the Switch 2, I just don't care.
By supporting what he believes to be true, the whole "you'll own nothing and that's fine, stop complaining" narrative, it doesn't just stop at The Crew or whatever other game. No, it keeps going. And that this Stop Killing Games initiative is not just because someone wants to play a FIFA game offline, it's because game publishers, these companies, and yes, even their yes men like Pirate, refuse to allow freedom in the future when it comes to games as a medium. So you're telling me that back in the day when you bought a Super Nintendo with like Super Mario World, you owned both of those. Nobody could take your ownership from that unless they, stole it obviously from you physically. But now I don't own the games I buy, but not only that, I also don't own the console I bought either. So in a sense, I'm paying these prices to what exactly? Rent both the system and the games on it, and people like Pirate just think this is okay, that this is now the meta? The dark truth is simple here, which is that Pirate is completely fine with you, the user, not owning literally anything anymore. And the fact that he's gone to such lengths to sabotage or downright ruin such a movement for simply saying, hey, can we own the things we buy like anything else, is kind of insane to me. Pirate Software wants you to own nothing, and if you ever question him or his beliefs, his motives, or even his games, you're just a wrong thinker plebeian who needs to, I guess, sit down, shut up, and keep your mouth and wallet open so no owning nothing future can continue, I guess. While Pirate may be okay with that, I certainly am not. This is more than just one game, it's the entire medium. And I need people to understand that this initiative has to succeed, otherwise this current meta where your games can be taken from you without consent, and even your consoles or your user profiles can be terminated or turn actual physical machines that you own into literally nothing but glorified paperweights, that needs to end. That the industry has swung the pendulum so far to the other side that we're now reaching this weird dictatorship.
Holy shit, look at how this guy does his Patreon credits. I should start doing this.
Nonsense. Pirate Software may have deleted his post thinking that
Although if I did this, it wouldn't last long.
Find it, but I'm glad I
holy
did,
shit.
because we all know now what kind of man this guy is, and it saddens me that he truly thinks it's better if we own nothing and just accept that the people at the top will always have ultimate power over you as a player, and that if you question it, you're the enemy and not them. That's an insane truth to discover, but a truth found all the same. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, go sign the petition if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
Good video. Pretty much summarizes a lot of people's issues with that, with the stop killing games shit at least. One sec, let me find something. Yeah, it's like Star Wars, yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been thinking of changing the way I do Patreon shoutouts, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Let's see. we need to find another video. If we do script writing alone, it's boring. We need to do Subway Surfer gameplay. Let me see what's on my. Let's see. Huh. I probably should have prepared some stuff, shouldn't I? I probably should have done that because we don't want to watch another Stop Killing Games video because it's like the same shit, you know. We're not watching stuff on Anne Boleyn. I'd rather like die, to be frank. There is like other YouTube drama, but this is stuff I don't give a shit about, you know. Like I just don't care. Could watch Moist Critical talk about it, but I don't watch his videos that much. Oh, the P Diddy verdict. That's crazy. God damn. Thanks, bro. Jesus. Wait, how many petitions do we have on Stop Killing Games? Let me check. StopKillingGames.com. Jesus, 848,000. We're almost there. That's crazy. Tom has a new video. Who's Tom? Oh, you're on about. Oh, right. I mean, it depends what it's about, you know. I'd rather do something that the stream cares about too. Let's see. Uma Musume. That's crazy. Could watch some video essays. Could do that. Whilst I speed through the script a bit more. Because I've made decent progress. Let's see. There was a video I did actually really want to watch. Fuck, what was it? I think it was unironically a Near Automata video, but I forgot who it was. Max Derad, did he make a new Near video? He's one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my inspirations actually. But his videos aren't as long as mine, so I don't know how long it would last. Let's see. The screen looks frozen right now because nothing's moving, so I might as well just like fucking just do this, mute it, make it play there. Let's see. How long does scripting usually take for you? I feel like you usually have a really good pace with them. It depends on the video. This one isn't going to take me that long. On average, I would say half a month. Half a month. Now, this is my second draft of this script. Let's see. The heat right now for me, Jonah, if you're asking me, it's fine. It's actually calmed down a bit. I know for a fact the script for my video after this one, if I do that one, is going to be fucking... Yeah, I don't know how long that video is going to take me. It's going to be a pretty massive video. I spent more than 2 months on Near Replicant, yeah. And the algorithm hates that video. You know, it fucking hates it. But I've heard that a lot of YouTubers have been having issues with the algorithm recently. I know Jacksepticeye is having issues. He voiced it in his Stop Killing Games video. Like his Death Stranding 2 playthrough is getting like no views or something like that, which is crazy. I looked, it only had like 100k views, and I was like, holy shit, this is Jacksepticeye we're talking about, dude. That's fucking crazy. There was a video I wanted to watch, and I thought it would be like really good to like contrast it with my own video. You know what? Let's watch the Baroque video that put it on my radar. If no one here has watched my Baroque video, I highly recommend it. It's very good, except my mic quality sucks in that video. Let's watch it. This video is the most popular Baroque video on YouTube. It's only 50 minutes long. It's not as long as the one I did, but it's a very good video, and I think it will be interesting to go over it again. And yeah, the Nier video is criminally underrated. Thank you, I appreciate that. I feel like I watched so much stuff after Nier, and you mentioned it with the Dragon God video. I spoiled myself early on it. My Dragon God video is my best one, in my opinion. That's my best one. Keep in mind there's too much what feels like constant work. Yeah. I mean, when I have free time, I if I'm not like doing other shit, because obviously I need to take breaks, but yeah, I would welcome videos. So yeah, let's watch Dungeon Show. Dungeon Show is a great YouTuber. I'm not subbed on this account. I don't know why. There we go, fixed. Dungeon Show is such an amazing YouTuber. I love this guy. So let's watch it. I've already watched this, but I haven't watched it in a while. So
about pain.
whoops.
Baroque is all about pain, and this is what my first run looked like. Everything started out normally enough. A short, cryptic opening cutscene played, and then I was dropped into an abandoned town with a giant bulbous tower looming in the distance. Just another day at the office. As I headed toward the tower, an angel appeared, dropped a rifle on the ground.
The Angel, aka one of the greatest characters in not modern RPGs. This is not modern RPG. He's just so comically evil.
And
Like-
told me to use it. There's significance in
Yeah.
you using it, he said. Then he peaced out. And like I said, just another day at the office. After picking up the rifle, I headed into the tower. I had no weapons, armor, or items, aside from the rifle, but something told me not to use it yet. So I punched some fish, punched some bugs, found a sword and a coat, picked up some bones. I found out most bones don't display their effects until I either gnawed on them or threw them. Some buffed me, some gave me status ailments, some damaged enemies. Some made enemies invincible. With certain enemies, I could successfully evade their attacks by strafing. With others, I couldn't. One enemy turned around, farted in my face, and blinded me. Another one stole the armor I was wearing and ran away. Some traps I threw down damaged enemies or
This game, by the way, made me rage so much. It made me so angry when I was recording the footage for the video. Holy shit, dude. And I had to emulate it too. Oh my god. Never again. Never again.
gave them status effects. Others gave me status effects. And then, as my health and vitality dwindled and I was madly turning corners trying to find the portal that would take me down to the next floor, which I hoped would be the last, I was surrounded, stun-locked, and beaten to death, only to end up back where I started, in the abandoned town, with my stats reset to level 1, and all of my weapons and items gone. And I hated it. I hated its intentional ambiguity, its difficulty, the merciless way it stripped me of all my progress and left me back at the beginning with nothing. I hated everything about Baroque, but I kept playing.
Yeah, that's how I was with it. Some of the gameplay systems really pissed me off, but I wanted to finish it. I wanted to just make a video about it because I love it so much, and I'm glad I did.
Baroque is a first-person roguelike dungeon-crawling action RPG developed by Sting Entertainment, originally released for Sega Saturn on May 21st.
Yeah, that music. Oh my god. I always gush over the music in Baroque, but oh my god, bro. It's I can't put into words how good the soundtrack for Baroque is on the Sega Saturn, at least, not on the other one. Oh, it's so good.
1998. It was then tweaked, enhanced, or ruined, depending on your perspective, and released on the Sony PlayStation with a
It was kind of ruined.
new subtitle, Uganda Mosul, Distorted Delusion.
You should play your own video about it. The only times I watch my own videos is when I'm doing the commentary streams.
On October 28th,
This isn't a commentary
1999.
stream,
It was
it's not
then remade
what I
for the
want right
PlayStation
now.
2 with an entirely new art style and third-person perspective. And this version was released on June 28th, 2007, followed by a port to Nintendo Wii on March 13th, 2008. Both the PS2 and Wii remakes got North American and European releases in 2008, but the original Saturn and PlayStation versions stayed in Japan. Even in 2020, when a Nintendo Switch port of the Saturn version became available to download, this also stayed exclusive to Japan. For some reason, it doesn't seem like the powers that be want Western players to experience the original versions of Baroque. However, thanks to the efforts of Pliskin, a fan translation of the PlayStation version was released in 2022. This was followed by a translation of the Saturn version, also by Pliskin, in 2023. This video is focused on the original versions of the game, specifically the Saturn version, since it was the first release, and many fans consider it to be the best version of the game. I also
Because it is. It's the best.
just like to promote the Saturn any chance I get. I did
Yeah.
play a bit of the PS1 version, and though it may appear similar to the Saturn release,
PS1 version has like some weird changes. There's like a green hue at all times when you're playing the PS1 version. Some of the translations are just off or completely changed. The motivations for the angel, I think, are a bit changed. I can't remember. But yeah.
There are several key differences, which I'll get into later. I did not play the PS2 or Wii remakes. Well, I mean, I tried them out.
I actually did for the video. I recorded like a tiny piece of footage. I didn't complete it on that port though. Because the point of the video, the Baroque video, wasn't to cover that port, it was to cover the Sega Saturn port. So, yeah.
Get footage for this part of the video specifically.
It was alright. It's not terrible, but it's not nowhere near as good as the Sega Saturn version. Plus, it's like a completely different game in terms of like tone.
But I don't care for the art style and other aspects of the presentation.
Yeah,
I know
me
for
neither.
a lot of you, this is how you first experienced the game, so you might have some attachment to it.
I didn't.
I get that, but yeah, it's just not as interesting to me as the originals. There's a darkness to the visuals of the original game.
Oh, look at this shit, dude. The next video I'm doing, by the way, the one I'm scripting right now, it has the same vibe as the Baroque video and Baroque in general.
Especially on the Saturn, where the
I'm actually going to speed up this video a bit because Dungeon 2 does talk a little bit slow, which is fine. But I don't want to watch this all day.
reds and blacks of the environments and backgrounds just seem to pop more. The sprites for the NPCs and enemies have a darker, more sinister style to them that just fits the overall tone of the game better than the more early 2000s kind of generic anime approach that the remakes went with. The sound design is also much more atmospheric and creepy in the Saturn and PlayStation versions. There are all kinds of weird noises happening in the background. It's sometimes hard to discern whether there's an enemy nearby or the background soundscape is just playing tricks on you.
It's so good. Like,
The music, too, is more foreboding in the originals. The PS2 and Wii versions go for dark techno
yeah,
tracks during cutscenes.
the soundtrack for the remake, so to say, it's not a remake. It's like a, I don't know what you would call it, but it's a different sort of game. It's just not that good, in my opinion. Like, I genuinely don't think the soundtrack for the newer version of Baroque isn't that good. The old though, 10 out of 10, one of the best soundtracks ever. Like, yeah.
And exploration, which aren't bad at all. But I prefer the more ambient, atmospheric cuts in the originals.
7,000. This is the second draft though. The other one was at 20 or 19,000, I think. I'll have to check. Hang on. Yeah, 19,000. Like, I started this script, this second draft yesterday, so yeah.
No matter which version you choose to play, though, Baroque is a bewildering experience for first-timers. Its narrative is perplexing, its characters and world are just bizarre and unfamiliar. It's hard to find a comfortable foothold with any aspect of it. Baroque's core gameplay mechanics are deceptively simple, but they're...
You know what? Sorry to interrupt this video. We're actually going to watch a different one. It's just come to me what we should watch, and it'll be fun to watch it together. I'm going to put this in the chat, though. In the YouTube chat, I should say. There you go. Let's watch this video right here. This video, or these videos, are so fucking good.
Drakengard, what a weird little game you are.
This is by Klemps. He's a fellow British person. He made like a few Drakengard videos, and he's made near videos similar to mine, but his are more like humor and more funny, and yeah, but very good. Let's watch them.
Now I know I may have spoiled it in my last video, but this game is one of my personal favourites. A game that fits nicely up there with Final Fantasy IX, but the question is, why? If you've heard anything about Drakengard, it tends to be about how boring the game
Okay, it just pissed me off that he pronounces it wrong though. I made a point in my Drakengard video. You know, Drakengard is the wrong pronunciation. It's Drakengard. But you know what? I love Klemps. I forgive him.
gameplay is or how repetitive it is to play, making the overall experience a bit of a chore.
Yep.
You may have also heard about the story and how batshit insane it is, so to summarise it briefly before I go into detail. The main reason I wanted to revisit this title was due to the announcement of Nier Automata, a brand new addition to the Drakengard
Jesus, how old is this video? 9 years ago. Fuck me.
timeline, directed by Yoko Taro and Platinum Games. Who's Yoko Taro, I hear you cry? Well, for all of you meme smiths out there, it's Weird Skeleton Man from Square Enix's 2015 E3 conference. Yoko Taro has a bit of a reputation within the industry as someone who isn't afraid to cross boundaries and mess with the player's head, and to a lesser extent his development team. His main goal for Drakengard was to create a story that didn't hand you a happy ending for slaughtering hundreds, if not
Dude, I fucking love Drakengard so much. Holy shit. It's so fucking good.
thousands of soldiers.
Oh god, god, I'm so happy I made that video.
The game was originally meant to be an ace combat with dragons kind of game, till Dynasty Warriors 2 came out and gained massive popularity in Japan, causing them to
You can tell me and Clemps did similar research, because I say the same shit, basically.
push for this kind of gameplay as well, which took Taro by complete surprise. According to an interview, Taro was quoted saying that Drakengard wouldn't have stood a chance against Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy if the characters were too normal, and I can safely say he succeeded in making most of them abnormal. Something that I took away from my return to the Drakengard series was Taro's love for making characters with a defining trait that makes them somewhat ostracized or unique in a
Yeah, literally every single character in Drakengard is mentally ill. Even Sarah. I think Sarah's just got massive PTSD because he's a child. Leonard's a pedophile. Kaim is a psychopath, or sociopath rather. Furiai, I don't think Furiai has a mental illness, she's just a bit of a freak. But yeah.
video game
Other than the game has actually the story, yeah.
setting. You'll find this becomes a pattern in each edition of
Oh
the
look, it's Replicant. Haha, the video I did. Haha, got it guys.
series, including Nier and I'm guessing Nier Automata. Touching a little on the gameplay, I can't really say too much about the ground combat. I'll sum it up quickly in one short, easy to understand clip.
Yep. That is literally the ground combat. That you press 2 buttons. That is it. Nothing else. It's bad. It's not very good.
The aerial combat is where Drakengard shines.
Yeah, like I say the similar stuff in my video, even though I don't think the ground combat is as bad. I think it's bad, but it's not as bad as most people think it is. Because there is satisfaction and there is a ludo narrative to Kaim slaughter and your satisfaction as a player. But the aerial combat's so good. I think the aerial combat in Drakengard is very fun. But yeah.
In the gameplay department. During these segments, you'll control a dragon whose main goal is to shoot down enemy minions and airships. The dragon feels like it has some weight behind it, and although it takes a while to get used to it, I found myself enjoying these the most. Maybe it's because there's more going on than mashing the square button till enough dudes fall down. Speaking of dudes, you'll find that if you want to unlock every ending to the game, of which there are 5, you'll be killing a lot of them. You'll need to kill dudes to unlock secret weapons, which you'll need to kill more dudes in order to unlock more secret weapons, which you'll need for the final ending, in which you kill dudes. Those of you who know vaguely about the Drakengard timeline will know that Ending E was originally a joke idea, which is a rip off the Evangelion ending. However, this
Okay, I'm going to correct him a little bit here. It's not a rip-off. That's not what rip-off means. I was inspired by it. As a massive fan of Evangelion. That offends me.
endings would
Sorry, as a massive fan of Drakengard and Evangelion, that offends me. But yeah, still, I love Camps.
eventually birthed the Nier franchise. So for the rest of the video, I'll try to explain the basic plot and characters leading up to the events that trigger the end.
Yes, the Ariosh, the worst character in the entire game who had so much potential.
endings. It's
She just exists to be freaky. That's it. She has no, like, wider story in the game. Like, yeah.
also the first time I'll be splitting my video
You can make a point similar to what Wendy Goon said about Repas's gameplay in... Was Run. I don't know what Run is. You have to remind me. The proto nature is there to make the events like the prototype. Yeah, that is what I say in the video. I do say that.
videos in 2. Firstly, it gets content out faster for you guys, and second, it gives me a little more time to
Ready or not, right?
focus on writing about all 5 endings and why the game means so much to me. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's hope it doesn't drag on for too long.
Fucking Christ.
Drakengard takes place in a fantasy world called Midgard, and is
Every time he says Drakengard, I twitch, but it's fine.
protected from an otherworldly force by 4 seals. The seal of the desert,
I keep critiquing him, but I love him. I love this video, and I love all the videos he's made.
ocean, forest, and the seal of the goddess, Furiai. A mysterious cult has taken hold of the Empire, enslaving thousands of soldiers to become a mindless, red-eyed hive mind with one goal: to destroy the seals, allowing these otherworldly beings into their dimension to cause a ruckus. The game starts with our main character, Kaim, fighting a battle against the Empire with his army, the Union. Kaim will be our main character, who brings an interesting twist on the silent protagonist.
Show no mercy. Attack!
But Clemps, I thought you said he was a silent protagonist. Spoilers!
Behind you.
So being a big dum-dum, Kaim gets mortally wounded.
I love Kaim. I love him. I love him to death. He's such a... People think he's just like a plain sociopathic character, but if you've read the novella like I have, which actually got recently translated, I think it got translated before I made the video. That's why I could read from it in the video, but he is a disturbed person, obviously, but he uses his position as a soldier to be able to act in the way that he wants to, because he knows deep down that it's bad. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's a good character.
And rushes to the castle after realizing his sister Furiai, the seal, is in.
So was it ever revealed actually, like, why exactly the Empire became red? The Empire themselves, they have I can't remember fully. They have a religion, and their religion was always the Watchers. But I think the religion or the cult behind it that controlled the Empire, they kind of got out of control. So they were always there. They were always like, they were always praises of the Watchers, the Empire was, but they kind of just got out of control. They just got out of control, basically. They were always like that. To say that they were hijacked or anything is half true. The religion was always there, but the Watchers didn't take effect until the events of the story.
Danger. He murders his way into the castle gates and meets up with our second main character, the Red Dragon. Despite their differences, Kaim and the dragon have to make a pact in order to survive. In the Drakengard universe, humans and beasts can make something called a pact in order to fuse their life force together, essentially becoming a single entity.
Also, fun facts about pacts, they aren't explained. they just aren't explained as far as I could tell. I looked into it. There are barely any explanations. Everyone can just rip out their soul.
Both of their strength and being able to speak telepathically via thought. It comes with a downside, however, as the humans need to lose something precious in order to obtain inhuman strength. Pacts are always something that confused me, and the logic can sometimes be a little strange, as one of the endings shows. So, can a human make a pact?
Wait, what ending is he referring to? I think he's referring to the ending where Sere freezes the world. I think that is because there was no explanation for how he could do that. And in my video, I basically I stretched the logic a little bit, and I was like really racking my brain as to how to explain it. And I think that if you like cancel the pacts like that, it would like outburst the magics that you gained from the pact itself. Sere gained immortality, and so he could freeze the world if he cancelled the pacts. Yeah, that was my logic anyway. Was it explain why he lost his voice though? So Kaim, as the way he is, deep down he actually really wanted to connect with more people and communicate with more people and have more people to understand him, and that's why he lost his voice. It's not explained in the game. Another Yoko Taro issue is where half the lore isn't in the game. It's in books, it's in the novellas. But that is basically what it was. Yeah, they lose what's most important to them.
Pact with any beast? Are these things supposed to be the individual souls? Can you just reach into your body and drag it out for show and tell at any given opportunity? Can you walk up to a dog and be all, hey Buster, wanna be pact partners? Okay.
His voice is important because he wanted connection, and a common way of connecting with people is by speaking to them, you know. And the reason why Kaim it never got explained. Not in the game anyway. Like Verdele losing his hair is just funny because that implies that the most important thing to him was his looks. So yeah, he and Verdele, it kind of just makes sense though with Verdele because he implies that he's extremely self-centered and extremely also self-conscious, because when Furiai dies, one of the first things he asks is that what will become of him, which implies, you know, that he's pretty useless now because he is the person that guides the goddess. But yeah.
Ah well, slight plot inconvenience for the sake of the video game, I get it. After forging a pact with the dragon, the pact takes away his ability to speak, turning him into the violent mute we've all come to know and love. He also gets a sick nasty pact emblem on his tongue to physically show what part of his body he had to sell in order to obtain power. Kaim and his new lady friend take off to annihilate the Empire forces that govern the skies, which they succeed in doing, via murder. Shortly after bathing in the blood of a few hundred soldiers, we're properly introduced to Kaim's sister and his
See, at this point in my video, I'm still talking about like the development stage.
childhood friend Inuart, who's a naturally talented musician. Furiai and Inuart were originally supposed to be husband and wife before Furiai became the goddess of the seal, which is why
But
he's so
this
adamant.
video is very, 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 very good. And like, just if you just want a very brief, somewhat vague explanation of things, it's a very, very good series of videos for that audience. Are these kind of packs inspired by another story? I'm not sure. I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. Drakengard, the packs are in Drakengard 1, 2, and 3. I think they're in 3. They're not in Nier, because Nier's in another world, or in our world, really. But yeah.
Protector.
Stay away from Furiai,
He says whilst
Yeah, and then Inuart throws an imperial soldier toward Furiai when he says get away from her. It's fucking stupid.
throwing him in her
Yeah,
general
literally, yeah, like,
direction. God damn it, Inuart, you're so fucking stupid.
yeah.
Chaim. It's enough. He's dead. Perhaps we should celebrate. The usual song.
So, I wonder if Clamps lets it play here. Okay, he memes it. Is that Chris Chan? That's Chris Chan. Kill me. The language Inuart speaks here is not. It doesn't exist. Or sorry, the one he sings. It doesn't exist.
Inuart
Yo, guys, we should watch the entire Chris Chan series. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that to you guys.
closes the party
Fun fact: I've watched the entire series. Don't ask me. Don't ask me why, please. Don't ask me why.
head to the elf village as the castle is no longer safe. Man, sure hope everything's gonna go smoothly. Oh,
Also, I'm wondering if I'm missing messages, because remember that YouTube does that glitch? Hang on. Where sometimes messages don't send. Okay, it seems to be fine. We're good, we're good. Let me see. Yeah, we're good. Let me make sure we're good. Yeah, we're fine. Let's see.
oh no.
Oh, Furiai.
The one thing that I really like about Drakengard, the cutscenes, by the way, I think I did praise them in the video. Not just like the out-of-engine movies that they use, that Studio Anima made, but these like dialogue conversations. I think the voice acting in Drakengard is so good. I think it's so well done, and the direction, even though the camera is really static in these conversations, I think the direction is just so good. It's so simple.
You must forgive me. I'm not strong enough to protect you.
But your songs, they calm me.
Songs. I pray for strength.
Next, the dragon hears a character named Hierarch Verdelay reaching out to a pact partner telepathically to bring the goddess to him for safety. So I guess pact partners can also communicate with other pact partners.
Yeah, so this thing right here is so vague, because they can communicate with pact partners, but there's a moment in the story, I think, where, or there's multiple moments in the story where it just doesn't work, or they hear it but they don't hear it, and I think it's based on distance. It's pretty vague how this works. Yeah.
As via thought. I mean, sure, I guess? Verdelay is a holy priest of the seal who made a pact with a dragon back in the day, although now it's petrified, meaning he's pretty much useless in combat. He sacrificed his hair as a pact price, and compared to some of the other shit people had to give up, I'd say he picked the winning straw. After speaking to a dying elf, Kaim learns that a bunch of hostages have been
Fun fact, the model for this character, this NPC, you can't really see it very well on the stream, on the bottom left. I think they have the same face as Ariosh.
ferried away to a shrine of the Watchers. Inuart and Furiai take off to the desert shrine, whereas Kaim decides to split off from the main group to do a bit of heroism. Through murder, Kaim finds out that the kidnapped elves have been taken elsewhere. Well, the dragon kind of assumes this, and I guess we're just going to go along with it. Next, we're introduced to Leonard, one of the more controversial characters within the Drakengard series. Although
Oh boy, here he is.
it's not directly
The character that made me debate if saying the word pedophile on YouTube would get you demonetized. It doesn't, by the way. I made a lot of money off Drakengard's video. Just saying.
stated in the
But, yeah.
game, and the comments regarding it are pretty ambiguous. Yoko Taro admitted that Leonard was indeed a paedophile and was off jerking it to little boys whilst his brothers
I love how, okay, you can tell this video is old because he, like, Clemps details it it's such a crude way. Jesus.
Okay, what do I say? Fruity tooty. No, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm in trouble. Dipsy, Lala, Poe. Leonard, broken and racked with guilt over his actions that caused him to be away from his family, attempts suicide but ultimately caves into his own fears and drops the knife. It's then that we're introduced to one of the worst characters in the game.
Okay. I don't know if the fairy is the worst, but it's bloody annoying. The fairy is extremely annoying. I will agree with that.
Oh, sorry, pitiful little brothers, dead on the ground. What fun! What fun!
Yeah, its laugh is so bad. I hate the laugh.
What motivated you to make a pact with this? So he decides to make a pact with a random fairy that...
Okay, another correction from me, from a small YouTuber compared to Clemps, but hey, I know my shit when it comes to this game. Leonard didn't just make the pact randomly, he made it because he was extremely traumatized and the fairy literally manipulated him into doing it. It's very simple. Leonard just didn't just go, okay, yeah, fuck it, YOLO. He was so, like, distraught and so guilty that he was like, okay, maybe my saving grace is this fairy that's just come along at this very moment. Let's make a pact. So, yeah.
came to torment him for no good reason other than it's a sadistic little prick, which takes away his sight, rendering him blind. When you've unlocked Leonard, you can play through his story segment, which is filled with, you guessed it, little boys.
Kaim, please, no more. We cannot.
You like the fairy sky?
Please, help us! No!
They are so powerless.
Yeah, the moment in Drakengard where you kill the children, but what people forget is that a lot of the children are possessed by Fays.
Your sword spares none.
But they're still children, so...
Your heart is black.
Help me. Climb. Still, you offer no mercy.
Anywho, the dragon reveals that Inuart was basically
La 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 la.
the coolest guy ever and saved Furiai and Verdley from the Empire. By the way, I'm lying. Sort yourself out, you plum.
Kayam,
A girl touched me.
thank goodness you...
That's fucking funny. God.
You plum.
Kayam,
A girl touched me.
Why is that so funny?
I will be safe. I am a goddess after all.
No, the Empire are after you because you're the goddess. Don't bullshit me, you rascal. Kaim heads to the Empire prison and succeeds in rescuing Verdley, and it's clear that Inuart's being held in another location, so for the time being they have to give up on their search. However, the Empire have a much more nefarious plan when it comes to Inuart.
Inuart's like a very simple character, but I love him. I think Inuart's a great character.
If only I had more strength, then I could protect Furiai.
Oh look, it's Shadow the Hedgehog! My one true love.
Jesus
all
Christ.
mine, Furiai, all mine.
Shadow, come on,
A lot
buddy.
of people. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the priestess and her voice actor. People say that it's bad. It's not bad. It's purposely made to be monotone. It's purposely made to be monotone.
If she ceases to be a goddess,
It's meant to be otherworldly, you know. So
can she become a woman again? If only I had the strength.
oh boy.
The dragon drops them back off at the desert, only to find the sea.
This mission, by the way, Clemps is kind of not talking about the gameplay and the missions themselves, which is understandable. It's not the point of this video, I don't think. But this mission right here, the one that's on the screen right now, oh my god. I recorded like 3 hours of footage for the game, and I recorded it in 30 FPS. I don't know why. So I had to do this mission, like 3 to 4 hours of gameplay all over again. And this is Drakengard we're talking about, where the gameplay isn't perfect, and it does get on a bit. It does drag. Oh my god, I hated that. I was so angry.
seal has been broken. The gang eventually hear the voice of our third main character, Ariosh, an elf woman who was driven to madness when she saw her family being slaughtered by Empire forces.
Fun fact, I don't think that is in the game itself. Is it? Let me think. Wait, let me think. No, I think it is, but barely. I think it's like one mention of Arioshi's like trauma or her backstory. I think that's it. Like nothing else is clarified at all. She is the most plain character in probably the entire game.
Ariosh made a pact of two elementals named Undine and Salamander, sacrificing her.
Yeah, and her pet partners, Undine and Salamander, they have like less than 10 voice lines in the entire game. And in the Japanese version, I think they don't have any. I think that's what I remember reading.
And the ability to conceive. This either contributes or is a defining factor that leads her to eating her victims, especially children, possibly to put a child back inside of her again. Same as Leonard, when you unlock Ariosh, you can play through her story-specific levels, which lead you to the Seal of the Ocean.
Ariosh is overpowered, by the way, when you play as her. She's broken. She one-shots most things on the map.
Things aren't going swimmingly.
The children. Ariosh, what have you done?
So sweet. So sweet. The cute little children.
Oh, Ariosh. Oh, and the seal is broken here too. I fucked up again. Upon arriving back with Furiai, Inuart appears with his new pact partner, a black dragon. He admits trading his ability to sing or create songs in order to obtain the strength he needs to protect Furiai. Sadly, this has also come at the price of his free will, as the Empire are wearing him from the inside like a glove. Inuart is all, hand me Furiai, and Kaim is all, so they clash as enemies for the first time in a super hype sword fight, and the dragon faces off against Inuart's pact beast. Inuart wins hands down and leaves the red dragon critically injured, as Kaim recognises the black dragon as the same one that murdered his mother and father, causing him to foolishly rush out and force the red dragon to defend him. Inuart decides to crank up the creeper level to max and then leaves the scene of my favourite line of the game.
Yeah. The Kino line right here.
Welcome to a world without song.
Because he can't sing, get it? Fucking epic cool explosions, Michael Bay.
Incredible! After Inuart leaves, Verdelay drops a bombshell and explains that if all of the seals are broken, the seeds of resurrection will be sown across the land. What are the seeds of resurrection? What purpose do they hold? I'll explain them all in due time. Finally, the goddess's capture gives the party enough motivation to storm the Imperial lands to retrieve her personally, and find some new allies along the way.
I would say that Clemps did a really good job of structuring this video, because this is technically this is actually before the ending of the game, what happens right here, the first ending. So he's doing it in a way where you introduce all the characters and then go into the endings. What I did is that I did it like route by route, basically. Both work, but what he did it here is pretty good.
Oh, cool! Wait, no, I take it back. Not cool, no.
Okay, also, hot opinion, hot take. I don't find Seri annoying. A lot of the fandom for Drakengard and Nier finds him pretty annoying. I don't get it. I think he's fine.
Oh,
His voice actor is a bit weird, but it's fine.
Young boy named Sere
Jesus
is an
Christ.
orphan whose parents were some of the many victims of the Empire attacks. A wandering golem found Sere alone and, taking pity on him, sealed a pact. Sere gave up his time, meaning he'll never die of old age, forever remaining an immortal child. He's also my least liked character in Drakengard. Seems I share this opinion with Yoko Taro, who claims Sere is too much of a goody two-shoes to fit in with the universe. He was created to contrast the party of miserable individuals we've come to know, but he somehow ends up being insufferable to me.
Mother, I'll kiss you and then you'll wake up, right?
Kill me if you desire. But you can never dirty my soul, wretched human.
Now, before I jump into Sere's part of the story, I thought I'd explain.
Not bad, but God, the jokes are so crude. Yeah.
Something briefly. You'll notice that in this particular scene, Sere isn't here, whereas in this exact same scene, he is. The explanation for this is the endings to Drakengard and the process you need to do in order to unlock them.
Compared to Nier Replicant, Drakengard's endings are so straightforward, at least how to get them. Nier Replicant's endings oh, like you have to replay the entire game or half the game over again, and I hated it. One of my biggest critiques of that game was that.
For most of the characters, you'll need to revisit older chapters to have them as backup, and for the first ending, you won't be getting Sere at all. Does that sound awkward? Yeah, it kind of is. Right, now we can tackle Sere and his involvement in the plot. Sere has a twin sister called Mana, who his mother despised for an unsaid reason. She would claim that she loved Sere and only Sere, eventually leading Mana into the mountains and abandoning her. Despite having much more pressing matters in hand like the end of the fucking world, Kaim and crew decide to help this little Melvin out.
Stay back from there.
Sere!
A spell of possession. A wizard must be hiding nearby.
Hit him! Golem, you have one chance and you're missing it. Hit him!
My friend. Oh, you fucking blew it.
Sere.
Finally, after rescuing the little squit, the fairies of the forest release a death cry meaning only one thing. The third seal has been broken, which leaves Furiai as the last remaining barrier.
I've just noticed this thing about this video is that it's, like I said, it's good for lore, but for like understanding how the game is structured and stuff, the game doesn't actually go like this. I've just realized. Like if you're going to play through the game normally from beginning to like the true end, this isn't how it plays out. Not really, anyway. But as for like understanding how the story and the lore works, yeah, this is a good video. This is a very good video.
Between this world and the
like I first played Drakengard when I was like less than 10 years old, and I found this video years later, and then yeah.
Kaim and the dragon rush to the Union's aid to take down the man-made Cyclops.
Yes, less than 10 years old. You heard that right.
And manage to secure victory
via murder.
After a grueling battle, it seems like the Union has won and spirits are high. But this is Drakengard, where no one is allowed a happy ending.
Let's go to the next one. I've never learned of Drakengard's existence until you explain your XIV name to me. Yep.
Well, part 2 is here at last. If you haven't watched part 1 already, click on this link to check it out. So I left you all with a pretty cruel cliffhanger, as the Empire were just plain naughty and dropped some fucking magical nukes which inevitably sealed their victory. If you wanted a clear example of the Empire forces being a brainwashed hive mind, the fact that they're almost proud to die is a good example of that. They're disposable. Whoever's in charge sees them only as a tool to achieve its goal, a goal which is becoming closer to reality the more our heroes faff around.
God, what is this music from? I love this. I forgot what it is. Is it FF7? No, it's not. I don't know.
It's at this point in the game where shit starts getting serious, if this wasn't serious enough. Inuart wants to destroy Kaim with permission from the mysterious priestess, who looks suspiciously like Sere, and Furiai is waking up from having an apparent sleeping. Wow, Inuart, I had the weirdest dream. I was useful for a second, but then I woke up. Here we are. Pull the stick.
Okay, but what is she meant to do? Like, be for real. She can't do much. not in this world.
Out of your ass. Instead of fighting Inuart on the ground, we're going to be fighting him with the dragon instead, and I really start to pity the poor voice actor, because some of the delivery is, well, let me show you.
Okay, I disagree with this as well. This voice acting is completely fine, and it's meant to be monotone. Plus, one of my comments on the Drakengard video pointed out, because in the in my video, I described it as like the ramblings of a madman, and it's like, yes, it is, but it could also be interpreted as him trying to sing, because he can't sing anymore, and that's why he sounds like that. And I love that interpretation. I think that is actually good, and I wish I said that.
Really hope you're getting paid well for that, mate, because fuck me. The Red Dragon used to...
Yeah, I don't think Clemson understands that.
Wins to follow Inuart into the massive flying fortress that bombed the ever-loving shit out of us earlier. When we finally find a way to break inside, Kaim does what a Kaim does best as he feverishly attempts to save his sister.
Kaim.
Okay, those wet sounds you're hearing right now aren't in the video. I'm skipping it though.
Uriai was apparently
Oh, sorry, they're not in the game.
killed off screen by Sere's twin sister, Mana, aka the Priestess of the Watchers. The Red Dragon announces that the seeds of resurrection have been sown and the end of the world is looming. Inuart, noticing that something is wrong, pushes his way to Furiai's side. The sight of her lifeless body snaps him out of his trance, and we're led to assume that by the twin voices,
Right, not the Watchers. Sculpt, not the Watchers.
Mana is possessed by the Watchers. This next scene, man, I don't know whether to laugh.
I mean, you could guess that Mana was possessed by the Watchers long before this. Long before this.
or cry.
Did I? You.
La 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 la, la 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 la. Watchers dance. Such fun.
The Watchers dance. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. The Watchers, they dance. Speak not the Watchers. Draw not the Watchers.
Hey, B! Ooh, I'm gonna call you Cindy! Cindy, wait up!
I did not know that.
Inuart is
I forgot
broken,
that.
emotionally and mentally. He carries Furiai's lifeless body to do the unthinkable. He wants to put Furiai inside a seed of resurrection. Inuart believes that by placing Furiai inside one of the seeds, it'll do what its name implies and bring her back to life. However, the seeds are not only called the Seeds of Resurrection, as the Red Dragon states. They are also known as the Seeds
Yeah, so again, this isn't how the game plays out if you're going to go from beginning to end. This is ending B, I think, or C. I think it's B, actually. Yeah.
of Destruction.
But Clem's is doing it in a way where he's describing everything that happens in all the timelines. Then I think at the end, at the end he wraps everything up, which is actually that's a good approach. Like it's pretty good how he's covering it.
So as I'm sure you're aware, we don't exactly want Inuart to place a human corpse inside something called the Seeds of fucking Destruction. So we fight him in the air for a second time. This is the fight that you'll be repeating a lot if you want to hit that 100% mark, so you should probably get used to this line.
Die, die, die. Yep. This boss fight is pretty easy, to be honest. The trick is that you don't even lock onto him. You just spam unguided fireballs and he just can't dodge them. Because I think it's either intended or the game devs didn't program it where unguided missiles aren't like accounted for, because if you lock onto him he dodges like 70% of the fireballs you shoot.
Inuart, he manages to escape to an unknown location, which leads us onto a clear-cut course for ending A. The anguish of an unsmiling watcher. Kaim is pissed, and rightfully so. I mean, his sister kind of flopped over like a bag.
Wait, what?
Onto a clear-cut course for ending A. Inuart, he manages to...
Hang on.
After defeating Inuart, he manages to escape to an unknown location, which leads us onto a clear-cut course for ending A. The anguish of an...
Okay, so what confuses me here is his editing a bit. I keep critiquing him, and I don't mean to be a dick, because Clems is a great... I love this video, I love this series. What confused me earlier is he used footage of ending B in the cutscenes, but if he didn't do that, then yeah, this is ending A, he's right. Because in the first playthrough, of the game, you defeat Inuart and he just fucking vanishes. He just disappears. Like, he flies off, and that's it. He doesn't get addressed in the rest of the ending, which is why ending A is one of my least favorite endings, because it's probably is my least favorite ending, because nothing really gets explained. Not really. Like, the characters' fates are very not open. I think ending D is my favorite, is what I say in the video. But yeah.
An unsmiling watcher. Kaim is pissed, and rightfully so. I mean, his sister kind of flopped over like a bag of shit, so who can blame the guy? We descend into the destroyed Empire City, and we're given an important boss battle which highlights just how close the dragon and Kaim have gotten since the beginning of their journey. The creature flying before Kaim and the Red Dragon is a worm. A dragon so ancient...
This boss fight kicked my ass first time I did it.
But to engage in combat with it as a member of the draconoid species would be seen as a grave sin. With a little encouragement from Kaim, the Red Dragon decides to...
Also, great music taste in this video.
test just how powerful she's become and faces the worm head on. After a grueling battle, we down it for good, making the Red Dragon an extremely powerful member of her race, which not only boosts her pride, she also finds respect or even affection for Kaim.
Speaking as someone who has played Drakengard 2 but dislikes Drakengard 2, it is definitely affection. They love each other by the end of Drakengard 1, ending A specifically.
It is nothing. It is you who should take care, Kaim.
Upon reaching Mana, you'll notice that Leonard, Ariosh and Sere aren't here with Kaim and Verdelay. Well, for the time being, whenever you don't see these three in a cutscene, you're just gonna have to assume that they don't need to be unlocked yet for the endings they're canon to. Kaim is ready to smash the little twerp's head in, but Verdelay is all and does some crazy Harry Potter shit, which causes Mana to roll the clip.
Pathetic. Pathetic.
Get the fuck down! Get the fuck down from there!
This is the final boss to ending A.
And probably the second hardest boss in the game. This, oh my god. I actually think this boss is kind of poorly designed. The final phase is just ridiculous, but yeah.
Mana is being fueled by the power of the Watchers to grow to an inhuman size, and I'm sure you can imagine what would happen if we just left her like this. Okay, due to these videos being about the story, I've rarely had the chance to touch on the gameplay, and since these are the final bosses, I thought it would be an idea to spill a little detail on them, like how this boss is total horseshit and most of the deaths come from this. As I mentioned in part 1, the dragon feels like it has some weight to it, which makes avoiding these a fucking pain. If you're lucky, you can down her in a ridiculously short amount of time, but I'm gonna wager you'll be dying a few times before you see this screen pop up. Or maybe I'm just bad at video games. Yeah, there's also that. Eventually, as video games go, we beat Mana and she reverts back to her natural form. It would appear that she's returned to normal, though the influence of the Watchers is still there to a certain extent. Okay, hear me out here. I kind of feel sorry for this character.
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to feel sorry for Mana because she didn't have control over herself, and then after she's released from the possession of the Watchers, she realized what she had done or inadvertently done, and she literally begs you to kill her. Like, of course, you kind of have to feel sorry for her.
This little girl is asking to be killed because the weight of her crimes are finally hitting home. Crimes that she very well may have not committed consciously, and she did it all because her mother didn't love her, causing her to become extremely emotionally fragile, eventually hearing the voice of the Watchers who tricked her into becoming their tool for bloodshed and war.
Whoppity whop! Kill little Mana!
I take it back, kill her dead!
The Red Dragon tortures the girl for half a minute till Verdelay reveals that a new goddess has to be chosen, and fast.
Kaim, I am tired again. Bore me as you did before.
So, the fact she says, "War me as you did before," it could mean many things. Could mean that, you know, they've been affectionate more than this, off screen, or she's simply referring to when Kaim encouraged her to fight the worm because he hugged her in that moment, I think. So, who knows? Because in Drakengard 2, I think it's canonically that they had romantic feelings, so. Okay, this isn't what happened. This is just aged humor.
Whoa, that's kinda... you two hiding something from me here? Fucking baddragon.com? And it turns out that isn't far from the truth. In ending A, Kaim and the Red Dragon have formed an emotionally romantic relationship. This is something that Yoko Taro never planned, as he originally wanted the relationship between Kaim and the dragon to be something similar to a parasitic relationship, Kaim being the parasite. The romantic connection was instead written in by Takuya Iwazaki, and this is a theme which carries...
Wait, what?
The romantic connection was...
Wait, is he a furry? What the fuck?
...in by Takuya Iwazaki.
I'm not sure if this is a meme or not.
And this is a theme which carries over into Drakengard 2.
Remember when I said things would get fucking weird?
The Red Dragon announces that she will be the new goddess of the seal, as no other human can match her strength. So ending A involves the Red Dragon sacrificing herself to protect the world from the Watchers. As Verdelay burns the seal onto her flesh, Kaim sheds tears for the woman he loves, and she reveals her true name to him.
Yeah. But I don't get the meme. I don't get it, so yeah, I'm not sure.
And she fades away, protecting the world from destruction until another goddess needs to be chosen. The second ending we'll be looking at is Ending B, Flowers for the Broken Spirit. For Ending B, we're going to go back in time to the point where we fought Inuart. Inuart escapes to the Empire City, and this time around we follow him. We give
Final Fantasy XIV music.
chase, but are ultimately
I'm trying to think what theme this is. Garuda? I think it's Garuda. Yeah, this guy.
too slow as Inuart slowly approaches the seed, bleeding and dying. Completely blinded with grief and love, he places Furiai inside, and for one brief moment, everything seems to be working.
Oh, I love this moment. So fucking cool.
Furiai, you have returned to me.
Like I was saying earlier, the lighting, the composition of the cutscenes in Dragon God is so good. Like, this is beautiful. This is pretty as hell. Like, look at this. Like,
You have returned to me.
like I know this is out of engine, this cutscene, but this is a PS2 game. All right, take care, Jonah. Near music. Yeah, this. Yeah, keep in mind this video came out before Automata, so a lot of the Jesus, do the humor.
I love this. It's creepy, unsettling, and the fight is just challenging enough without being total bullshit. It turns
The fight with Furiai was pretty fucking hard. It was. But it was good. It was pretty well designed. I agree with Clemps here.
challenging enough without being total bullshit. It turns out that by putting a human into a seed of destruction, it resurrects them as a creature hell-bent on wiping out humanity.
Correct,
Yeah,
Alex.
good going, Inuart. How's that working out for you, you dumb bitch? When we eventually beat Furiai...
Dude, oh my god, this shot. God, I love this game so much. Look at this shot, bro. I hope Clemps doesn't skip this.
Finale, where Kaim holds his monstrous sister in his arms, looking out onto the broken Empire City. And as the camera
Look
pans
at
around,
that. It's so good.
it seems that the battle between Kaim and Furiai isn't over just yet.
Like, there's a reason this is one of my favourite games ever made, even if the gameplay is really mid. And it's for shit like this. The story is just great.
Well, there's Ending B, an ending which is pretty interesting when you dig into it.
Yeah,
As it turns
Ending B is pretty good.
out, Taro and his development team created Furiai out of his hatred.
Because Ending B addresses Inuart's fate and Furiai's fate. I mean, you know what happened to Furiai Ending A as well, but in Ending B, you at least know what happened to Inuart.
to the little sister tribe.
I mean, and to an extent, Furiai too, because he wanted to put her into a seed of resurrection. But in Ending A, we don't know how that went. But yeah, that's why Ending B, in my opinion, is superior. Hello, username. How you doing?
That plagues most Japanese media, or more specifically the sister princess-like novel series. She was meant to be a damsel in distress who never manages to be rescued, a result of Taro's backlash with the happy endings that are usually seen in common media. So keeping that in mind, let's move on to our next ending. Ending C, a companion's eternal farewell.
Fucking awesome ending right here. Ending C's great.
Well, for this ending, we're going to go back to the climax of our attempts to rescue Furiai. We actually managed to make it to Furiai before her death, where Mana begins to unravel some truths in front of Kaim.
I'm just a girl. A normal girl. What's this?
This dirt. No, don't.
Please, hold me, my brother.
Stop it.
I can see into your heart.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, Ending C is the ending that plays on Furiai's feelings for Kaim.
You lie.
I'm dirty. I'm dirty. I'm no goddess.
I
I
renounce
renounce
it.
it.
Please. Please, my brother.
Knowing Clemps, he's going to put some funny haha joke here. Oh boy. I can't remember actually. Again, this video is like 10 years old.
Confused? I sure was. Why did she kill herself here? Kaim turns away, seemingly out of
Yeah,
shame,
because
so
the game doesn't explicitly state why what's going on here. Like, you really have to put two and two together, but it should be kind of obvious.
Plunges a dagger into her chest. Doesn't that seem a little extreme? Well, you'd be right in being a little confused.
The voice acting for the little girl username, it's meant to be like that. It was the direction the game took, because she's possessed, and it's meant to be like otherworldly and monotone.
Because the English translation completely fucks this scene up. In the original Japanese version, it outright implies that Furiai harbours incestuous feelings towards Kaim.
Kaim.
Whether or not Kaim and Furiai have
Yeah, I told you he would do a humorous... God, when was this video made again? 2016, yeah.
engaged in a physical incestuous relationship is up to debate.
Nah, it's all good. Thing is about the voice acting for the girl is that, like, at a glance, without knowing like a wider context, yeah, it can sound pretty bad.
But it'd explain why Inuart is so jealous of the siblings. The English version censors this in the weakest way possible, going as far to imply that Furiai could just want a simple hug from her brother, which only further
I don't think that's true.
Possible, going as far to imply that Furiai could just want a simple hug from her.
Because I played... Wait, hang on, let me play this in full.
Up to debate, but it'd explain why Inuart is so jealous of the siblings. The English version censors this in the weakest way possible, going as far to imply that Furiai could just want a simple hug.
No, I disagree with this, where he says, "Oh, it means that she wants a simple hug." When you say you want someone to hold you, it could mean many things. It could mean a hug, it could mean sex, it could mean a lot of things. So yeah. Regardless, the la 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 will never. Yeah, the la 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 la. That's fucking hilarious.
From her brother, which only further increases confusion about Furiai's heartbroken response to Kaim turning his head away out of shame. Jeez, this whole goddess business is a taxing situation. I'd sure like a hug right now. Fucking kill yourself, you harlot. It makes no sense.
Let me replay that again.
Confusion about Furiai's heartbroken response to Kaim turning his head away out of shame. Jeez, this whole goddess business is a taxing situation. I'd sure like a hug right now. Fucking
Nah, this is probably the worst part of this video.
Kill yourself, you harlot.
Because he completely misunderstands it.
It makes no sense.
Like, no, she didn't want a hug, bro. She literally wanted to have sex with her brother.
Again, he falls over like a bag of shit in front of the seed and never manages to fuse her with it, dying with a
It triggered me. You can tell this was made in 2016, dude. Holy crap.
Angelus notes that a human is at the altar, this human being Mana. She attempts to summon a dragon for whatever reason and ends up being promptly devoured by it. Kaim hurries into the altar room where the dragon is. Whoa, Angelus! You feel.
One sec. Yeah, no, you heard that right, username. You heard that right. Give me 1 second. If the stream goes offline, it's because I'm like messing with something. 1 sec.